delve into spirituality, but don't take it face value. Just understand understand the essentials, and read more psychological books. Not in terms of perspective, but in terms of understanding yourself. Like the books I've read, like the Chimp Paradox, and there's multiple interviews that you can search out, like Diary of the CEO, and just in terms of that, just understand yourself. There's no improvement if you can't improve yourself. There's no understanding if you don't even understand yourself.
I mean, the one thing I've always really liked hearing is the saying, "Don't believe everything you think," and I think it's so a lot of times we can just accept things as fact and not really question it, and then kind of jump to conclusions based on specific emotions that something made us feel. And sometimes it's easier to believe a person meant malice or meant this harm when they said or did something to you, when really more often than not, it's just out of ignorance. And so when people, maybe say a comment or something that's kind of out of pocket or is kind of disrespectful, maybe I don't think people always mean it from the worst place possible. And I think we're so quick to judge other people, to think the absolute worst of other people. But when we make mistakes, which we're always going to, um, we give ourselves a lot more grace than we would give other people and the benefit of the doubt and trying to hear about. And some people, just genuinely might mean, a kind of something really messed up when they say or do something. And that's a part of it. But I don't think the majority is like that. I think the majority of people are genuinely good and want to do good.
Hmm.
And I think part of that is just really making sure that you check your ego, you check your what your beliefs are and why it is that you're and be able to question it. Why do I think that this person hates me when in reality, actually, they just made a mistake or they just didn't know I felt a certain way about that. So I think everyone comes from these different backgrounds. So being able to stop and question that, I think, is part of that really helps you understand and develop these relationships that you might not have otherwise had. Um, one other one too that's I think a quicker one, but I think is a bit more obvious too, is that you're an average of the five people that you associate with the most, and I think it's just a lot of it making sure you're surrounding yourself with good people, people that try to help you and support you, that you help and support them and are trying to improve themselves for the better. Because if you think to also again thinking about the extremes to make a point, if you think about why sometimes people have a really hard time breaking old habits or like falling into addiction, and why people say after they go to rehab to make sure that they are in halfway home somewhere safe, they're no longer in that culture. If you're constantly around other people that you associate with the most, if they're not a good influence, if they have just this negative and terrible outlook on the world or about other people, you start to become like them. So I think just making sure that you are very careful of who you are, that you keep close to yourself, and be really intentional, that influence you, that you trust and can support you, and make sure it's people that are you're helping each other.